another day, only to scream into the night. Nothing ever tries to change, even if I want to realize. 'Cause I've been sitting here, same old ways, taking off without the same mistake. Darling, where you going? It won't be as simple for you.
Oh dear. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Hey, guys. It is Old Man G here, back again for another match reaction. And United have lost again. I think it's the fourth loss of the season at home, second loss at home already. I'm trying to even think of the home wins, to be honest. Like what were our home wins this I think we won away to Burnley. Oh yeah, and Wolves. Wolves was our home win, and that wasn't particular. I don't think I've seen a convincing, aside from the Palace game when we're playing against Palace reserves. I've not seen a convincing a home performance in Manchester United this season yet. Big up to Ilias in the chat, man. Season over, I'm going to know before we start doing the top 10. Even though big up Matthew, man. Big up you guys. I know this is late. Apologies, guys. Yes, I'm late. To be honest, I was I've had quite a long week. And as soon as I had the result, I was like, these guys aren't going to ruin my weekend, man. These guys aren't going to ruin my weekend. I think it's okay. I mean, I'll just say this, like, I was going into this game actually worried a little bit, because I think a lot of fans were so gassed by how we were performing against a Crystal Palace side that made so many changes, had injuries, and to be honest, I think actually wanted out of the competition. If we're being honest, less games, focus on league position. I'm of the opinion right now that we need to make. I don't think United can handle 4 competitions. And I think that, I think there's a few issues. There's the players, obviously, there's Ten Hag, there's the injuries, and there's where we are. So I think the first thing I'm going to say is that Manchester United, in my opinion, I do not think we can be in 4 competitions. We have had a surprising amount of injuries. The players look like we've only played 7 Premier League games now, 1 Carabao Cup game, and 1 Champions League game, and the players look tired. The players look tired already. So we probably played the most games, I think, in the league and possibly Europe last season. Man City, because Man City obviously were out of the Carabao Cup earlier on, but they'll probably been close with City. If I'm honest, we can't be in 4 competitions, guys. We can't be in 4 competitions. And if I'm perfectly honest, I would have rather we lost to Palace at home in the EFL and then beaten Palace at the weekend. That's what I would have preferred. Because I knew, because this happened to us last season. If you remember, guys, we played Palace back-to-back last season. We won 1 game at home, I think, and then we drew away at Palace. We dropped points. Because when you play a team twice in such succession, it's never a good sign, because the opposing manager can adapt to tactics. And the reality is that I thought it was stupid for Ten Hag to think that playing the same way against Palace the first time was basically going to work the same time now with a stronger side. The whole, oh yeah, Amrabat and Verts, they played really well. Yeah, it was great. Yeah, that wasn't going to work this time. It wasn't going to work on a Palace side that like because in a cup game you can't play for a draw. You're either you're going to be knocked out in 90 minutes. And like I said, Roy Hodgson probably wanted out because he's got injuries. In a league game, it's different. It's like I'm happy with a point. And the game turned out exactly how I thought. I was like, if Palace score first, Roy Hodgson will park the bus and we will struggle to break down this Palace side because we are not creative. We're not creative enough. Palace scored in the 30th minute, I think. Fantastic goal. I don't see how people can blame Onana for that. Even the marking, all the rest. Okay, fine, whatever. It was just a good substitution. I can't hate Palace for the goal. But the reality is, why don't we create? Like, I'm so tired of this whole thing, like, it's not like we've been spanked this time this season. If you really deep it, we've not been spanked this season. Spurs 2-0. Arsenal, okay, it was 3-1, but it was at the end. Um, uh, Brighton and so on. We've not been spanked. The issue has been we failed to be able to score more than 2 goals. Aside from the Nottingham Forest game, because Nottingham Forest scored early and were too open, and Bayern, which was weird. In the league, we haven't scored. Aside from that Nottingham Forest game, in the league, we've not been able to score more than 1 goal. We've not. We didn't score against Palace today. We didn't score against Spurs. We scored 1 goal against Arsenal, 1 goal against Wolves, and 1 goal against Brighton. Our attack is the issue. Our midfield is a problem, I confess. And the reality is that against Palace, you can't play Casemiro and Amrabat together. Casemiro and Amrabat are effectively the same player. You play Casemiro and Amrabat against City and against Liverpool, but you don't play Casemiro and Amrabat against a pass that you need to break down. That's just the facts. That's just the facts. So I'm ranting here, but I'll get to your comments in a second. I just want to just cook for a second. At the end of the day, after that goal that Palace scored, I did not see us scoring. I genuinely did not see a score. I think I stopped watching in about 70 something minutes. The substitutions, you're like, okay, fine. Rashford stays on, whatever. I don't know. I don't know. I'm not going to talk about Liverpool as well, by the way. So like I also I think I'm by the way, that was a handball. If we're going to be talking about officiating, because Liverpool was screwed over today, the offside wasn't onside, it was onside. So the red card, to be honest, I have less sympathy for because Casemiro got a similar red card last season and Götze got one, so there's a precedent. But that was onside. But I mean, I don't know why we didn't get a penalty in the first half because the ball, his hand literally touches. This is what I'm saying. I'm at the point now where, like, as far as I'm concerned, you can't rely on officials to do their job. We have to do our job because the amount of decisions that have gone against United. We should have had a penalty against Spurs for handball. We should have had a penalty today against Crystal Palace for a handball. I don't give a crap with the fact that, like, he didn't know where the ball was. It touched his hand. It was a handball. But, this is a difficult one. And like I said, guys, I put season over already in the title because the reality for me is that I'm looking at the way United started. We've been plagued with injuries. That are long term. We've got long term injuries to 3 of our fullbacks, Malacia, Wan-Bissaka, and Lucio, who we desperately need to come back into this team to give us some sort of width and creativity. One of our main defenders is injured. Not that I think it would necessarily help with the marking. And we've got an attack that just doesn't seem to know how to click. Rashford, I don't know what's going on with Rashford. To be honest, Rashford has not been playing well at all. If he's playing with an injury, he needs to tell the manager and not play. Because for me, that we didn't go down the right hand side because yes, you don't have an overlapping fullback. We don't have a fullback, so it's a problem. But it was dead. It was dead. This is a good point, to be honest. And this is another thing where Ten Hag made, much like Ollie, might die on his sword of these decisions. Mason Mount, I think, had an okay game today, but I have yet to see a game where Mount and Bruno play well together. I've yet. Mount for me had his best game for United against Palace. But what happened? Bruno wasn't playing. Rashford wasn't playing. I'm not convinced that you can play Mount and Bruno Fernandes in the same team. I still don't know why we got Mason Mount. I don't think Mason Mount was useful. People will talk about we didn't need to buy Onana. We didn't need to buy Mason Mount. We didn't need to buy Mason Mount. I don't have any issue with the player, but we didn't need to buy the player. We could have used that money to get another centre back so we could sort out our centre back crisis. We could have used it to maybe get more money to get a more clinical striker, because Højlund, God bless Højlund, but it's the graveyard shift. I think he can be a good number 9, but like he's relying on him. You know, it's ridiculous. We have no experience in the front line, and the only experience we have in Rashford is bricking it. We're relying on the Palestris, Garnachos, etc. These are kids. These are kids. It's not right. It's not right. It's not right. It's not right. Let me read some of these comments, guys. Edmund says, Ten Hag, if he is the man for United, is to start accessing the players that are simply not interested in United succeed and don't have the correct ones. Mentality is definitely a big thing. And you're seeing players here where I'm looking at, because we've lost, like, you know, lost against Arsenal, lost against Brighton, lost against Spurs, lost against Bayern Munich, now lost against Palace. We've had 5 losses already. Yeah, that's right. Arsenal, Palace, Brighton, Spurs, and Bayern. We've lost like 5 losses already. And you've only played 9 games. Yeah, that's correct. 7. Yeah, 9 games. Oh, no. Did we play... Did we play EFL before? No. This is our first EFL game. So 9 games, 5. Guys, that's bad. So when I say season over already, that's bad. 5 losses out of 9. I know there's been no draw. We've got another 4, but the other 4 wins were against Wolves, which was not convincing, and we were lucky to not have, like, if you deep it really, if the refereeing was fair, Wolves score that penalty and we're basically on 7 points, which is only 2 points better than Chelsea currently. So I'm cussing Chelsea because Chelsea won $1 billion, Chelsea blah blah blah. But at the end of the day, 7, like, if life is fair, we should actually be on 7 points after 7 games being played. That is terrible. Think about it. We should, if there was justice, we should be 7 points after 7 games. That is bad. You could say that's borderline sackable. And I get it because we have injuries. We have injuries. It's difficult. We have injuries. And, you know, we played Brighton. We played, but, you know, look at Brighton, spanked by Villa today. Absolutely destroyed by Villa today. Spurs, for me, I know they won today, but Spurs aren't that great. Arsenal, okay, give them the Emirates win. But Palace? And you can't even get a G to at least get a point? So you stay above them? What? What is this team? So I don't know, because and at the end of the day, you know, at the end of the day, I don't know where the win's going to come from. Because for me, you had to win these. If we were going to even be, because top for me, 5th, because there's no way, the way I see it, if United are going to get Champions League football, it's going to have to rely on other teams dropping like flies, running into bad form, because we need to get 5th. We're not getting top 4, because the way I see it, even if he's playing Liverpool, Liverpool are playing better than us. Spurs are playing better than us. Arsenal playing better. City are playing better. Newcastle playing better. That's really top 5 already. You know, I think Brighton, Villa, and Palace and like will waver off as they do. You know, these mid-table teams they'll get into one position, but those 5 teams are playing better than we are. So we have to sacrifice the competition because there's no way in hell with an we barely coped with 4 competitions last season. With an injury-ridden squad now, to be honest, we should have thrown the Carabao. Get out of that competition, get out of the FA Cup, and just play CL and Premier League, and that's it. We don't have the squad to compete in 4 competitions. Because the most important thing I'm concerned is we need to secure UCL football for next season. As it stands, I don't know whether we can. Because I don't know where this win is going to come from. If we can't beat Palace at home, we literally have 4 we obviously have 5 home fixtures, I think. Sweet. In fact, let me look here. Let me look. Let me look here. So, how many home fixtures? So, Palace, obviously, we beat them 3-0. We have Palace, we lost. You've got Galatasaray, and then you have Brentford. So, we have 4 home fixtures back to back. We should have actually been winning all of these. This is actually more important than this. We've got Galatasaray. I'll be doing a preview with Mike Talks Support on Monday. We have to beat Galatasaray if we're going to have any chance of qualifying from this group. At home, we have to. Galatasaray hopefully aren't going to be as defensive as you, but I don't know where I can't even guarantee we're going to win this game. You know, this is a team, Galatasaray, that bricked it at the weekend. And then you have Brentford. Likewise, are we going to beat Brentford? I'd like to think we should beat Sheffield United away. But, you know, but then after that, and then you have Copenhagen. So what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 home games. You know, and the whole point of this run was to build momentum so that when City come, we give City a game. Because again, you've got another home game against City. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 home games and 1 away game against Sheffield United, which should be a win. We should be winning all of these home games and beating Sheffield. The fact that we lost against Palace, I'm already thinking, okay, I don't see how it gets, you know. You got City, then literally after that, you've got Newcastle at home, another home game. We should throw that, get knocked out. And then you've got Fulham away, who knows? Copenhagen away, who knows? And then, you know, Luton, which we should win. I don't know for this. I don't know for this club, man. I really don't know for this club. Because so I got this because I generally don't know. I mean, I know we'll beat Luton, and I probably know that we'll beat Bournemouth, and we beat Burnley already, and hopefully beat Sheffield. Maybe we'll beat Everton. Maybe. Yeah, no, actually, we'll beat Everton, man. I mean, come on, Everton, man. Everton lost 2-0 to Luton, man. 2-1 or something? Jeez. We should beat Everton. But that's all I've got, and that's not enough. We're a mid-table team right now. And you look at the quality. I mean, look at what Gakpo did for Liverpool today. Like, people complain. I mean, I've been going at the fact that the midfield is an issue, and the midfield still is an issue. We don't have that we have literally no. We were getting overrun. Now we just have little 0 creativity. Casimir's not creative. Like, the most creative I've seen was when Johnny Evans pinged that ball for the freaking Burnley goal. That's the most creative I've seen United be. Like, I part of me was thinking, like, maybe we should put Johnny Evans on, because I've not seen anyone play balls like that. When Johnny Evans puts that ball, we actually were more of a threat in the air with Johnny Evans on. Give Johnny Evans a run. I don't know. Let me know in the chat, guys. What would you do? What would you do? We need Qatar. Game Killer says season was already over during preseason. Yeah, I mean, because the thing is that I don't want to keep on blaming injuries. They are a big thing, but like in this game, who changes things? Who comes on and changes things? You might think, okay, if the fullbacks are fit, then, but if the fullbacks were fit, what Ten Hag probably would have done was still play Mount and Casemiro and Matt Casemiro, Mount and Bruno. Maybe he would have put Amrabat instead of Casemiro. I don't know. So the midfield would have still been whack. Does Anthony come? Anthony obviously comes back into the team. Does he change things? I don't know. Don't think so. You know, I don't know. 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 Dude, Man United can't score for to save their life, and it's a big problem. I don't know what is wrong with Rashford Samasi. No, I can't blame the lineup. Because at the end of the day, there's no left back, and he has no choice. To play. I don't know who else could play at left back. Could you play Dallo at left back and play Lindelof at right back? Then you'd have to play Varane and Maguire, which you could try. But the front three, I mean, the thing is, he can't drop Rashford and Bruno, and that's going to cost him. Rashford is absolutely useless, headless, running into players constantly. Rashford has not been good, and to be honest, like if Ten Hag gets as balls, he should drop him. He should bench Rashford and he should start Garnacho. That's what I would do. Not that I still think Garnacho is more of an impact player, but he needs to bench Rashford, in my opinion. He needs to. To be honest, I'd actually play Martial. I'd play Martial, Højlund, and Palestri. That is when you saw the thing about the Crystal Palace game when we played Garnacho, Martial, and Palestri was that it looked. I know it was easy, but the front three looked more in sync. The front three currently don't look in sync at all. Rashford seems to be doing his own thing. Højlund is kind of wanting to see, like we're not playing like we have a number 9. It's bad, man. The team lacked the winning mentality today. There were individual errors and performance. The past team was sitting back. Yeah, exactly. And we were unlucky on that penalty as well. Biggest your squad depth and lack of quality and options in the squad. But I mean, we have to have the quality to beat Palace, though. We don't have the quality to be. The thing is, Matthew, is that if we don't have, if after spending 400 million, we don't have the quality to beat Palace in this squad, then what are we doing? Why are we giving 350k contracts or 300k contracts to Rashford and the like if we don't have the quality to beat Palace? That's what I don't get. If these players aren't have quality to beat mid-table teams, why are they on ridiculously high wages? You might as well let that player go and then get a player who is on Palace level quality, because at least you're paying them less. Why drop? Yeah, I don't know. Look at our goal difference all other teams. It's a joke. Yeah, it's awful. It's awful. Where I think where. Let's have a look at this stupid table, man. I'm even -4. -4. So this is the thing. This is and if you look at the what was it, goals for 7, goals against 11. Okay, so we're talking. It is the front three. When you look, just look around. Look. Aside from I think Fulham, although they've played a game less. Chelsea, who are trash, and these guys, Everton, Luton in the bottom. Although some of these guys obviously played on the games. We barely score any goals, and people aren't talking about that. Talk about Onana. They'll talk about the defense. They'll talk about all these things. Newcastle have scored 18 goals. Brighton have scored 19 goals. That is correct? Yeah. Goals for, yeah. Villa 18, Liverpool 16, Spurs 17, Man City 17 goals. We've only scored 7 goals. That's one on average, 1 goal a game. That is not good enough. Like I'm going in on the attackers, man, because the attackers, the Rashfords, and I just want to say the attacking line, because I don't want to go in on Højlund and Palestri because they're kids. And this is the thing, they're kids. We're relying on kids. Palestri and Hoyland are kids. Garnacho is a kid. Like, so we need to expect more from Rashford, who should be experienced, from Martial, and from Anthony, and from Sancho, who is in self-imposed exile right now. Chris Banter says you should have never laughed at Chelsea considering your experienced squad and a manager in second season is horrendous. I mean, slow down. Cruz Banter, slow down, slow down, slow down, slow down. Because at the end of the day, Chelsea are still Chelsea are have spent £1 billion and are only a point above Luton right now. And there's no guarantee you guys are going to beat Fulham. So relax. Like, our run is still like, we should have won this game, I know, but our run next couple of games is still better than yours. So, Fulham, Burnley away, and then top 7. Relax. I still would rather be United than Chelsea right now. Free Turkish delights on Tuesday, bro, man, bro. It's yeah. J2S, this is going to be 21-20 v1 of a game, then lose a game, no consistency. I know. Like I said, I don't know what the solution is because the players look tired already. It almost looks like the season Liverpool had last season when they were in full competition, when they were awful. For me, you gotta throw a competition, man. Another manager that's run under the bus due to lack of mentality of players. Yeah, this is the thing. This is not a Ten Hag out thing because one, I don't know what that will change. Like, do people generally think a new manager at this point is going to change anything? I don't think they will. Maybe you might get a brief new manager bounce, but it's not going to do anything because the same problem's going to rear their head. And two, what manager is even available? Like, they're literally, I can't even think of like because we need to bring a top quality manager. What top quality manager is available? People talking about Big Ange. People talking about Big Ange and De Zerbi. De Zerbi held 6 today against Villa, and Big Ange struggled to beat down a 9-man Liverpool side. So we need to relax sometimes on what these are called mid-table managers, because at United, the expectation is you win every single game and compete for trophies, and you have to manage player egos, etc. Last season number of games now eating top players. Look at one season. Yeah, exactly. Yep. I've said this several times. I think last season, I generally think. Sorry, 2 seconds, guys. I generally think last season cost us. We got to the final 2 competitions, Carabao and FA Cup. Played all the way. Europa League, Thursday football, at least until I think was it the quarters when we got knocked out. I think it was quarters. It just we played, and then Premier League. We just played too many games. Sancho's needed in this team. If I'm honest, I don't really know what Sancho will do. I mean, he'll help as in a body, but I generally don't know what Sancho will do because from what I've seen from Sancho at United, he doesn't dribble. He doesn't track back. He doesn't dribble, and he doesn't take on a man. So I don't know what Sancho would. So therefore, in this game, what would Sancho have done? Because you're playing against a low block. So I don't know. I don't exactly know what he would have done. He wouldn't have been able to. He would have actually been completely ineffective in this game, personally. Chelsea's worse. I gave up on my team. United will either finish. Yeah, I'm at the point where we're probably gonna. We'll put. I don't know. I mean, you look at this table, right? I mean, my aim is here. We're not going to get top 4 because I think these 4 teams are too good. My aim is here. And right now, United are what? 9, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 points behind 5th place. We're 6 points behind 5th place. Now, as soon as that becomes 10 points, then you can kiss Champions League football goodbye, in my opinion. 10 points at this time of the season. Nah. Yes, of course, United will probably beat the Lutons, the Bournemouths, etc. But in order for us to get here, you need to be at least beating these teams here. And the reality is that, like, it's scary how we don't have a win. Like, we haven't played City yet. We're probably going to lose. We've lost against Spurs. We've lost against Arsenal. Haven't played Liverpool yet. Probably will lose, though. Not played Villa. Lost against Brighton. Lost against Palace. Do you think we're going to beat Newcastle, West Ham? Probably not. Well, maybe West Ham. I don't know. Maybe Moyes might give us a few points. Although they did beat us last time at their stadium. So I don't know. I don't know, guys. But last season it was okay because we're getting the wins at Old Trafford. Now we're not getting the wins away or at home. So there's a problem there, then, isn't there? There's a massive problem. Red Devils United says we need to back the manager. Yeah, I'm. This is not, bro. This is not a Ten Hag. I'm not Ten Hag out. Like, the most important signing for me is Qatar. Get Qatar in, get new ownership, and then we'll cook. But at the end of the day, like, I think what I'm probably going to do as a fan is I need to detach my emotions from this club. Because if I put I'm of the opinion, I'm of the state now where if I am too emotional with this team, it just ruins my weekend. And at the end of the day, I mean, because this is the thing, I should be celebrating today. City lost, Spurs lost, PSG gone dunked on. Even Bayern drew. I expect Chelsea are going to lose at some point. So I should be celebrating today. Instead, I can't celebrate because my team the team had a horrendous performance against Palace and lost. Like, and the thing is, Roy Hodgson has done this before. The last 2 times he came to Old Trafford, he won. People forget this. He won. I think a similar scoreline. 1-0, maybe 2-1, something like that. Same style, same thing. So, lessons learned? No. Maybe Ten Hag doesn't know, but the players should know. How they're going to play. So either you try and dribble in and see if you can get a penalty, which we should have had a penalty, by the way, or you try something else. Glazers don't have the funds. Yep, that's why we're screwed. Cruz says Chelsea playing a view team cannot compare to a young team that should be challenging realistically. No. That's not an excuse. Sorry, it's not an excuse. You spent £1 billion. You spent £1 billion in 1 year. Like you're not. It's not like you're. It's not like you're spending. It's academy players like Lampard. The academy thing. Yeah, that's fair enough. Like when he had to use academy players, that's different. You're not using academy players. You're using players that you bought and you spent £1 billion on to compete. Like, don't use it. It's a youth team. Like, what? Mudryk is a youth player. Sterling is a youth player. Thiago is a youth player. Roberto Sanchez is a youth player. Enzo is a youth player. Caicedo is a youth player. Cucurella is a youth player. Like, Gallagher is a youth player. Like, no. Come on. No. Like, this is the thing. Like, I agree. I'm not giving excuses for the excuses United team, but I like it's laughable to me that Chelsea fans like can be happy and can be content with the fact that they're essentially like near a relegation zone after spending £1 billion, but it's okay because there's quite a few young players despite the money that was invested. Like, if you find that acceptable, then well, it's going to get worse for you guys. Anyway, the cycle will keep on repeating. If we sack tonight, we need to be like Arsenal. We'll give time to Arteta and Klopp 4 years before things turn around. Yeah, man. Maybe that's it. You just got to accept. I think probably the best way to accept win was that United aren't finishing a top 5, and I've got to hope that we somehow get a sale this year. That's literally the only thing. Like if we finish out of the top four, but in January I see a Qatar, here we go. I don't give a damn. I don't give a damn. If we finish outside top four, but they say Qatar, here we go. I don't give a damn where we finish because the biggest thing is new ownership. Big up Jade West, man. Thank you so much for becoming a new member, man. Really, really appreciate it. I've been quite slow, not slow, but with my exams, so I'm going to be bringing back member stuff as soon as this exam period is over for me. I've got one Friday, and that's it. So member hat will be back. But thanks so much for supporting channel Jade West. I appreciate it. The fact that we're relying on Twinio for most of our goals is more than exactly. Hoyland was my favorites. I fear him. Yeah, exactly. You know, and Ten Hag did want an experienced striker, but we didn't have him. Like Martial, if you're talking about availability, could have been the guy. I mean, I do feel bad for Ten Hag because because if things went the way they should have, you look at like Ronaldo. Ronaldo could have been that experienced striker. That Hoyland could have mentored under. Martial wouldn't be getting injuries. Sancho wouldn't be doing what he's doing. You know, so in another dimension, but there's just, and obviously the Greenwood situation, you know. So you look at these situations and you're like, United just, it's just, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe Pogba put some hex on us. I don't know. Maybe Pogba put a hex. Maybe Pogba put a hex. I have no idea. There's possibly a hex. See if someone there's a goat underneath Old Trafford or something. I don't know because I don't know. David Team. I don't know. I back Ten Hag, but can't be blind to players that simply don't give it all. You guys only have yourselves to blame though, because Amrabat and Customer is a good base to build on, but you need an actual ball controller. Mount Bruno are hit and miss, and Ericsson ain't the same. Yeah, you're right, Tapo. You're right. You know, a ball controller we had, Pogba. Pogba would be great in this team, but obviously injuries and doping tax, plus or minus witchcraft tax. And yeah, we need someone who can actually, you know, hold on to the ball. You like our midfield is completely imbalanced. But the only thing I would say though, Tapua, is that it still doesn't justify our attack though. As bad as our inbounds midfield is, we still managed to get the ball into the final third quite a bit. But our attack is wank. It's just not in sync. Like, you know, and I compare that to Liverpool, and I'm like, Liverpool at 10 men still look more threatening. How is that possible? You know? Edward says, bro, keep up the good work, man. Good to hear an objective voice when it comes to Manchester United. Thank you, Jade West, man. Thank you, man. I try and be nuanced with these things. I'm not this person needs to go out, this needs to be bad, etc., because things are nuanced. And the reality is the issues at Manchester United are multifactorial. So anyone blaming an individual player or the manager or one facet, it doesn't make sense because it's multifaceted. We have multiple injuries. The players look tired. Some of them aren't good enough. Ten Hag still questioning his managing decisions IQ, but fundamentally we have an ownership that, quite frankly, were terrible in the summer. We should have got another striker. We should have got a centre back. You know, and then you even sign a fullback, Reguilon, as an emergency because our fullbacks are out, and then he gets injured. So what was the point? What was the point? We signed an emergency left back because we had injuries, and then he then becomes injured. Tuchel and Ten Hag, similar problems, wrong line, but favoritism. Yeah, I know, but I mean, you know, at least you guys get your dubs. Although, shout out to RB Leipzig today. I thought Man United tried in the second, but yeah, it wasn't good enough. It wasn't good enough. We're giving Hoyland Kane minutes instead of Tellmans. Yeah, well, there you go. Bro, half of these 7 goals basically came in one game. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you're right. Sorry, it's in the goals. Yeah, exactly. You're right. That's what I'm saying. Like, if you average it out, that it's basically a goal a game, which isn't good enough. Like, and like I said, if we're being fair, Wolves should have got a draw from that game. So you need to ask the question: is 9 points from seven? That's nine. 7 games is 21 points. 9 out of 21. Is that good enough? It could have easily been 7 out of 21. You know, we've got a home game next weekend against. We've got a game against Galatasaray and a game against Brentford. We have to win both. Like, I would argue, it's this is we're already in a critical period, because if we lose against Galatasaray and we lose and both home games back to back, because we're playing at home as well. This is the key thing here. We played at home. The only reason this wasn't as bad is because we beat Palace already. But we're playing essentially, because we played at Palace at home, we're playing 4 home games back to back. Played Palace at home already, played Palace again, lost, then playing Galatasaray, then playing Brentford, and I think after that we're away to Sheffield United, then Copenhagen. I think, if I'm correct. Let's look at those fixtures again. Let's have a look. I think Sheffield United away. If he loses these 2 back to back, I am not Ten Hag out, but Ten Hag's job is going to be under pressure. It's going to be underlined, not from me, but from fans, but from the media, but from the club, because you cannot lose 3 back-to-back games at Old Trafford against mid-table opposition and not have your job being in question, especially when we've not really played. Let's be real, we've not played a big, okay, Arsenal, Spurs. We've not played City or Liverpool yet, and I know how. And the whole point is we build momentum to this game so we can give City a game. I'm worried that City come to Old Trafford and spank us, and I don't have the energy to see a City spanking, man. I really don't. I don't have the energy to see players who are on high wages basically just not care. I can't. I'm thankful I slept through the game. I knew we couldn't. By the way, if you're new to the channel, make sure you like and subscribe. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe to the channel. We obviously got 4K subscribers, but please, if you want to support the channel as well, consider becoming a member as well. Would appreciate it. I'm thankful I slept through the game. I knew we couldn't win against the same team twice. I got up Quincy just in time to see, Man City and Liverpool. Yeah, exactly. I thought was maybe to be honest, I thought that we'd at least it might be a draw. That's what I thought. Like last season when we beat Palace and draw 1. It's just I wish it was the other way around. But yeah. Nathan Gregan says, Nathan from Maston 2, what's the mood around Ten Hag? Oh, it's Nathan from Maston TV. Big up to us now TV, guys. I mean, in Milan, I'm sure you guys are feeling crap as well. Do they still feel confident? I don't know, man. I don't know. I really don't know what's going on in the dressing room, man. I really have no idea. But they've not got a choice, because his job is under pressure anytime soon. And quite frankly, the Glazers are too busy trying to sort out this sale than to care about what's going on in the field. 2-1 in Ollie's first season, 3-1 in Ollie's second season at Old Trafford. Against Palace, I think. Yeah. Roy Hodgson, man. Roy Hodgson. Boxers, Peach. I mean, that was wild. I mean, I hate Liverpool. And to be honest, they were moaning about the red card. It was a red at the end of the day. I've seen them given. But that offside was wild, man. Like, I generally don't know. I generally don't understand how they. I don't get how. I don't get it. Like, they were like, it was a mistake, and go, but how though? We have the goal line technology. You have the lines, so they're like, check complete. It's fine. I'm like, huh? But there were no lines. Like, where were the lines? Why don't you check it? And they were like, oh, it's a mistake. But how though? Why the hell did they not put lines there? I don't get it. I genuinely don't get it. Why they didn't put lines? I don't get it. I don't get it. It's corruption. United still has to happen, says Edmund. What's happening in training on a daily basis? Do we see any improvements? No, I'll be honest. I mean, I know we've got injuries, but and people are tired. But I'm looking at the team. I'm like, we look worse. I don't know who's improved. Rashford's gotten worse. Hoyland, Hoyland, Plestri, and Garnacho. Has Garnacho gotten better? Plestri's just started. Rasmus just started. Casemiro looks leggy. I don't know. But what I know is that our attack has gotten worse. But I make the argument that our attack has been bad for 2 seasons now. Because remember, last season we got 4th not because of our attack, but because of how good we were defensively. We only conceded, I think, I think had the 3rd best defensive record in the league last season, or joint 3rd. So we were there because of our defense. Our attack was wank. And when you look at the additions to our attack, we obviously got Anthony last season, who is now back into team this season, but he's been awful when he's played, or not been great. And Hoyland, who I think has the qualities to be an outright number 9, but the guy needs service and he's not getting it. And that's been the case for United for a while now. Like, I'm tired of players like Rashford. I mean, I love the guy. I love him. But, like, he needs to be able to play with number 9. Like, he needs to be able to... Like, you saw what Richarlison did to give Son the goal, for example. He needs to play like that. And it's so annoying that he doesn't. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie, guys. I don't really understand why I don't know what Rashford has done aside from to warrant 300k a week. I'm sick and tired of United rewarding players that have not achieved big things for the club with massive contracts. Sancho on 300k a week. Why? Like, why do we think, okay, you pay the transfer fee, why do we think, right, but the player should also be on high wages? I don't get it. I don't get it. Pogba's career, we're done. Yeah, I know. He backed up performance. I'll try and quickly because we need to get to player ratings quickly. But there's a lot of new and old faces in the chat. So like the channel if you are just like the page and subscribe if you're new. I don't understand this Mount sign to me. It's 51 ways that could, yeah, and that for me that is on Ten Hag, because I wanted Mount. I'm going to give Mount number 7. I generally don't know what Mount has done. Like, and the very fact that he he took Mount and Rashford off, which was interesting, because he kept Rashford and on in the last couple of games. The fact they took Rashford and Mount off and the comments afterwards makes you think that at least Ten Hag notices something. Because if I'm honest, bro, if you're gonna play Mount, play Mount off the right. Because if I'm honest, bro, you drop Mount and Rashford against Galatasaray. Put the team out that played against Crystal Palace against Galatasaray. Like, bring in Hannibal, because for me, Mount, I'm not saying Mount was bad today, but he didn't offer any more than I think Hannibal did. He didn't do anything massively different or offered much more than I think and Hannibal did. So for me, Casemiro, Hannibal, Bruno. Rashford out, Garnacho in, or if you really want to, play Martial, Hoyland, and Palestri, and then see what happens. Rashford and everything should be dropped. You can make an argument for Bruno as well, possibly, but yeah. Rashford and Sancho and NHK week is laughable, man. Said it's not over, but Arashi had a meltdown still on the field. Mount, Dalla, and Varane were decent. Attack toothless, yeah. I'm going in on the attack because the attack is because people want to focus on the defense on Onana. They don't seem to really appreciate that our attack has been wank for the last 3 seasons. It's been like, as much as I think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is out of his depth sometimes, the attack cost him as well. The attack in the final against Villarreal cost him that Europa League trophy. Not the defense, it was the attack. Again, Europa League, I think same when we got, was it semi-finals like that? Attack again. Our attack is overhyped. It really is. It's overhyped. And the players on more money than the Liverpool attackers and City attackers. Well, with the exception of Highland. John Tracy says, as poor as the performance was today, the players have very weak mentalities. We have lost games this season before we even, because you look at City and you look at Liverpool, and you're like, if they go a goal down, because they did, City went a goal down as well, Liverpool went a goal down as well, and you're like, yeah, they went a goal down, but they're probably still going to score. I know they lost today, but City still scored, and Liverpool, even with 10 men, scored. With United, when we go a goal down, it's like, oh. And that was never the case at United. Under Fergie, if you go a goal down, okay, yeah, we can score 2. Where is that from United? So for all the attack on the defense, why can't we score 2, 3, 4 goals? Why can't we score 5 goals? Sorry, when you're paying players the amount they're on, why is it wrong to expect the likes of Rashford, who's senior, and Bruno and Mount, who are senior, to create, assist, and score goals given what they're on? That is true. Liverpool attack looks threatening, even if during the times they have no midfield behind them. We'll be interested to see how Ten Hag approaches the problem for you guys. Yeah. You know, even when Liverpool had a dead ass midfield before they brought in, I think, Szoboszlai, who's been great, their attack still looked threatening. So what is the excuse for United? Liverpool's defense was whack at times, Matip and Van Dijk. Their midfield was whack at times, but their attack still looked frightening. So this idea that we have to fix the midfield, we have to fix the defense, we have to fix it. No, our attackers aren't good enough. Simple as. Our attackers aren't good enough, and they're overpaid, and we should expect more from them. I swear, if that by McCarty don't, oh yeah. If I generally dare this United. Like, I saw the Galatasaray game was when they tried that penalty, that weird penalty that they had, and they squared it. They did an Henri where it had this weird penalty, and then it just sort of it was weird. It was very, very weird. Yeah, weird. We shouldn't be losing to these guys, but who knows? We are a cup team. I don't think we're a cup team even. EFAC, I don't think we've been a cup team even. We need to get out of the cups. Ten Hag has overseen the worst start in 34 years. Yeah. But he's inherited a mess, and the club is a mess. I mean, when you just look at everything happening on and off the field, you know, the sale, Greenwood, the Sancho issue, Anthony, the injuries, the transfer district, it's just a mess, man. This whole institution is a mess, man. It's a mess. Wolves batter us at home, plus 4 should have got a draw. The worst one should really be the worst stop. Yep. If you really think about it, yep. The only thing I'll say about the Forest one is that we did well to come back. We did well to come back in the game. So, like, I still think we deserve to win in the Forest game. But Wolves, I'll give you. Josh was ridiculous. It was. Liverpool had one bad VAR game. They cried. They should be tried being unclose. Yeah, I mean that's true. Although, I mean, in fairness, that's true. That's true. I mean, like I said, they were whining about the red card. I couldn't give a toss about that because I've seen it given before. But I do understand their grievance against the VAR offside, because that was robbery. That offside was robbery. That was definitely robbery. Jason Cool says our attack is dead because we're not creating enough for one another, and a whole bunch of self-players you can't even pass to one another. Yes and no. Yes and no. I think that in the times this season and even last season when we created more chances, we still didn't score enough goals. And I think a lot of that comes to the fact that our attackers, a certain Rashford, sometimes Sancho and a few others, just the decision making in the final third is not good. Midfield likewise, the likes of Mount and Bruno, the decision making in the final third is just not good. It's not good. I think you're not gonna the best teams are able to utilize, like, let's keep it a stack. Let's keep a stack today. How many chances did Palace have? Aside from that shot on target when they scored the goal, I mean, let me look at the stats actually. Let me look at the stats here. Let me have a look. Um, let's have a look here. Let's have a look at the stats. 78% possession. So we had the ball. 4 shots on target. We had 19 shots, 4. They had 8 shots in total, only 2 on target. One of them was the goal. So Palace had 2 shots on target, one of which was a goal, and 22% possession. Guess who won the game? So this is the thing. It's like, at the end of the day, like, when people say, oh, you have to have like, it's all about possession or, creating all those sort of things. Like, yeah, okay, I get that. You need possession, you need to create chances to win the game. But you also need to, but fundamentally, you need to be clinical and you need to take your chances. Palace took theirs. That's why they won. We didn't. When you look at what happened again when we played against Arsenal, when we played when Garnacho, when it was 1-1, Garnacho's through. You gotta be on side there. You gotta be on side. If you're on side there, you time the run. That's 2-1. We probably win. We probably beat Arsenal. Spurs. We had opportunities again. So the reality is, the issue is that what's happened, as it happened in to certain Oli season and Spurs seasons, that when you actually look at the successful seasons that Oli, Mourinho, and even Ten Hag had, they were built on a strong defense. It wasn't our attackers. Maybe it wasn't our attackers that actually got us to where we should be in the league. It was our defense. Over the last 5 or 6, 7 years, I don't even think we've even had a good enough attack. I think our attack is overhyped because, unlike Liverpool, who can say, yes, Salah, Mane, etc., these guys are the ones that help them come clutch and get them through these games. I can't say that about us. We say, oh, it was Varane. Oh, it was De Gea. Okay, maybe you might add Rashford once there, but yeah, I don't know. Let me quickly skim through some of them. Is Højlund a 20 goal per season? No, he's not. Of course, he's not. He's 20. No, for me, if Højlund gets 15 plus goals, 15 goals in all competitions, that's a good season for him. I mean, he'll hopefully dunk on Luton and get a few there. And maybe we can get a good FA Cup tie against some non-league sides so we can dunk on them. I don't know how Galatasaray will play, but there you go. Ten Hag needs to shake things up a bit as to awarding high wages. And that's how this again. None of these young players, except for Højlund and Mbappe. Yep, I disagree. Let me quickly go because I've got so many comments to read, and so let me just quickly go for the player ratings, and I'll go into comments and then we'll round up. But yeah, this is nice interaction with the community, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you like the vid if you haven't already. Please get those likes up. It helps with the channel. We're on our road to 5K subscribers now. So please, it supports the channel. So yeah, let's go through the player ratings, guys, as we begin to round up. Right. Let's start. This is going to be quick because no player is going to be above a 6, if that. Onana, I'll give Onana 5.5. I don't care what anyone says. People say he should have saved the first one. I don't think so. Especially because it was so unexpected. Sorry, my voice. So no. Um, and then and he made a few good key saves. But at the end of the day, like I mean, you know, I love Onana, but understandably, people are going to be like, I mean, I still think the De Gea comparisons are whack. For the simple reason that although he's a free agent, so why don't we sign him up? But yeah, I still think it's whack. Given the fact that De Gea conceded 7. I mean, well, we've not played. We conceded 4 to Brentford, and we conceded 7 to Liverpool and 6 to City. I hope to God that doesn't happen to us. But anyway, it is what it is. Dallo, I'd say, I think Dallo had an okay game today. Yeah, he was all right. Actually, I think, yeah, Onana 5. I'll give Dallo 5.5. I think he had an okay game today. And at the end of the day, he's only fit fullback. Whatever anyone says about him, he's our only fully fit fullback. If Dallo gets injured, I genuinely don't know how we're going to line up. Like generally, if Dallo gets injured, how are we going to line up? We've got to play a back three. I'd imagine, because you can't now play. We're going to be in a situation where you're going to have to play, in a worse scenario, if Dallo gets injured, Lindelof at right back and Varane and Maguire together with Aaron at left back, which is crazy. It's crazy. So yeah, Dallo 5.5. Varane, didn't really notice him that much. Yeah, give him a 5 as well. I don't really think he did anything particularly wrong today. Lindelof, a similar thing. I mean, it was that boring that I don't know. I don't really I don't know. I yeah, he's a 5. He's a 5. Let me know what your play rates are on the chat as well, guys, for those who are still watching. Amrabat, it's difficult to judge him because like he's playing a makeshift role, but like obviously he's not a fullback. I'll give him a 4 today. Like, sorry, 4.5, I would say. Because the inverting thing is fine. Yes, it's great. Get someone to the midfield, but at the end of the day, it's almost like we had too many midfielders and not enough creativity. So it would be nice, like, and because there was no overlap here, Rashford was. It also affected Rashford's game. So yeah, I want Amrabat to play in the midfield. Amrabat for me is basically a replacement Fred. That's the way that I see him. So when we play against the big teams, the Liverpools and Cities, I want Amrabat to be here. And I hope for love of God, I hope for love of God that we get a fullback back before City. I really hope we do. Hopefully Reguilon is back. I don't know. Casemiro, man, I don't know, man. 4.5 again. Like, okay, okay, all right. Again, didn't particularly doing things special. Like, could he? I don't know if it was. It possibly might have been Casemiro for the man for the goal, to be honest. But he's been a bit. He's been a bit crappy lately when it comes to like man marking his players. So I don't know. Mason Mount, 4.5 to 5. I think did okay again. But these two players, it's like it reminds me of the what was the conundrum again? Yeah, it reminds me of the yeah, it was the Sanchez and Pogba situation. If anyone remembers under Jose Mourinho when we played Sanchez, like, why was Sanchez so bad? Why didn't it work? Because Sanchez kept on drifting inside to the space that Pogba was occupying here, and they seem to sort of cancel each other out. And for me, this is what Mount and Fernandez are doing right now. They're just canceling each other out. Um, so, and anytime that Mount has played with Fernandez, Bruno, for me, Bruno's had a terrible game. Bruno had like I give Bruno a 4 today. Just ineffective, didn't do anything. Leadership wasn't there, bad. Palestri, we were going down this side, even though I think we should have gone down this side because we have to feed it to Rashford, even though we actually had a fullback here. So Palestri, I think, was quiet, could have done more. 4.5. Rashford gets a 3 to me. I'm sorry, he was awful. He was awful. He was bad. His form has been awful. And if I'm honest, if you're Ten Hag, he needs to be dropped. I wouldn't start Rashford against Galatasaray. And Højlund, I'll give a 4. No service. I think he had one opportunity that was close, but he needs service. And we need players to create. And Rashford is not creating. I'm sorry, he's not, and I needs to be dropped. He needs to be dropped. To my personal opinion, he needs to be dropped. But yeah, let me know what your player ratings are in the comments, guys. Let's just quickly read some comments and round off. Yeah, Ten Hag needs to shake things up a bit, says Nathan. As for awarding high wages, yeah, I think I read that comment actually. United never learn. They have low Pogba, Ronaldo, De Gea, Cavani on one to highway just to replace them with other players on Sky. I mean, to be fair, Sancho was bought under Woodward in the old regime. I don't think we've signed anyone right now that's on under Ten Hag that's on like more than 200k a week. I'd like to think. Why doesn't Ten Hag play Lindelof right back, Dallo left? I mean, you could try Lindelof, but I mean, Lindelof doesn't have the pace to play a fullback, though. He doesn't, Amrabat at least has pace to play as a fullback. Lindelof doesn't have pace to play a fullback. You might as well play a back 3 if you're going to do that. The club has got a problem, says Congo from the bottom of the culture. The best we can get is a lucky UCL FA Cup cover run. Injury problems are damaging us, yeah. But at the end of the day, we're not. We've got Newcastle at home in the Carabao. FA Cup is draw. I already know it's going to be rigged. And let's keep a stack. We're not top. We're not top in the group against Bayern Munich. Like, we're not. Like, I mean, I don't even know whether we can even qualify from this group. If we don't beat Galatasaray at home, because for me, you have to beat Galatasaray and Copenhagen. You've got 2 home games back to back against Galatasaray and Copenhagen. You have to win. If you can't beat Galatasaray and Copenhagen at home, there's no point us being in the Champions League. In fact, I'd rather us drop into the Europa League, so at least we can try and win it to get into the Champions League. But you need to somehow beat Galatasaray and Copenhagen at home because you win those games. We play Copenhagen back to back. I don't think any of those teams look particularly good, but we look terrible. So, I don't know. But from what I've seen, and we'll do the preview tomorrow, they certainly don't look like teams that are going to park the bus. So hopefully, unlike today, we'll actually have enough space to actually be able to exploit these 2 teams. But, I'm expecting at least second. And then, we'll probably get knocked out in the round of 16 because we'll be drawn to some better team. But hopefully, by the time the Champions League resumes in February, our squad will be fully fit and we'll be able to play. I don't know. I thought he was coming in to be a striker, so I've got no idea. Maguire handled and contained Mateo Woody. Lindelof was back. That's true. That's true. That's true. The thing though? I think the thing with Maguire is this pace. This is the thing. It's the pace. He doesn't have the pace. So I remember even in midweek, he did get outpaced when I can't remember who came on. One of the past players who started, but I remember him getting done then. I personally think you put Mount right wing and that will help the team. and himself up. Maybe, yeah. But the thing is that like this is the thing about these things. Like we say put Mount there, we say dude, but the problem is that these players naturally go to where they're comfortable. So Amrabat is, at left back, but he's gonna drift inside. You put Mount at right wing, he's gonna drift inside. I need my fullback to overlap with the winger. I need my winger to create chances for my number 9. Is Mount going to create chances for Højlund? Is Amrabat going to overlap and help and support his winger? These are the things. Ten Hag willingly walked into the mess. It's true. Well, he did. He did. He did. Yeah, Hughes had a straight shot and get head. Yeah, and that was it. Well, our team was not built on a strong defense. Personally, I think we put more men behind the ball, stat deeper counter attack. From Moyes up to Ten Hag last season, we've been very defensive. This is the first season we aren't, and we are losing. Have to almost feel out until we start winning. Martin says, Nicholas says, feel sorry for Aaron back to relied upon so much. And Tapia says, you'll be fine to make it out of the group, I think. I'd only worry for you in the knockouts because you can go into it willing to lose. Because you can go into it willing to lose to Bayern and then just make sure you smack everyone else. Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I'm hoping, Tapua, that because when we place Bayern Munich in December, I'm hoping that we have a fully fit squad back. That's the hope, because by December, beginning of December, I'd like to think that Wan-Bissaka will be back, Luke Shaw will be back, Martinez will be back. And so at the very least, our starting or close to our starting 11 will be back. Form will be better, and it'll be at Old Trafford, so we can give Bayern a good game and try and win. But there you go. Best luck with your exams. Great chat, Red Devils. Yeah, thank you, Edmund, man. Thank you, man. But as you mentioned, the form is very worrying because you drop one of the two of these girls games and suddenly you find yourself having to chase qualification. Exactly. Guys, we're going to round up here. Thanks everyone for tuning in. Really appreciate it. United's not going to ruin my weekend. United's not going to ruin my weekend. But next week is effectively a win or bust for United, because if we don't beat Galatasaray and don't beat Brentford, I think Ten Hag is going to be under some very, very, very serious pressure. Thanks everyone for watching. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. Follow us on Twitter, United X. Smash the notification button. Have a nice day, everyone, and cheers. Peace.